Number 2, organize your speech
Okay.
for 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Good evening, Josh.
Well, good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, Josh.
Hi, Josh.
Hello. Who's my evaluator for tonight?
Um,
I think it's you, Mr.
Josh,
Tom.
there's been a switch. Erin was originally going to evaluate you. Your mom wanted Erin to evaluate her. I'm going to be your evaluator.
All right. Let's see. I will now private chat you with. I think you have my speech title, correct?
Dawn just gave it to me and I forgot it.
All right. I'll send everything.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Hey, Josh, you're going to have to be your own grammarian because nobody does it better than you.
Oh no, I can't do it tonight. I've got enough on my plate right now, and also I'm sure it'll be better for all of you. You know, less stress about all that.
We were just kidding, really. It's actually Trisha. We were just paying you a compliment.
That was by far the best grammarian report I've ever heard.
Okay.
And not that it matters, I mean, but I've never heard anything so thorough.
I've only done grammarian a handful of times, so I have to make up for the spaces in between.
Good.
Let's see. I need to remember what I was going to say. Okay.
Your keyboard, Josh?
What? Yes. Yes. Yeah, so I'll just mute myself to send this.
Every single, and what I don't like is people to see what he's been on.
All right, Mr. Thomas, I just sent you.
Yes, I see it.
Okay, good. I just sent you title, brief introduction, and just something to look for.
I gave him an introduction. Yeah. You would polish something about it.
Well, that's actually the same thing I said, but.
That actually that interests me. So I'm trying to figure out what your topic's going to be.
Well, you'll find out all soon enough.
That piques my interest. Decline and fall. I know why. There was a book I read with the same title.
Was it only a part of the book's title?
Yeah.
And then I think we're thinking about the same book.
Okay.
Edward Gibbon?
Yes.
Yes, that's it.
Okay, so then I'm prepared for how I can evaluate you.
Now I confess I've never actually read that book, but I do know
a friend of mine reads a lot of books, and he had a copy of it, and let me borrow his copy, and I read it, and it intrigued me. It was really good. It kept me guessing how it's going to go. Because I thought I had an idea how it would end, but it didn't end the way I thought it would end.
You know, I went on vacation, as you all know, a few weeks ago, and there was a guy on the trip who was phenomenally learned. In fact, he was able to quote extended passages of that particular book, as well as extended passages of Homer from memory, just like a Toastmaster. I mean, he never broke off eye contact. He gave it in cadence and rhythm. It was truly phenomenal. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm not going to try to match this guy.
Well, yeah, I have a friend like that who can tell you if he goes to an event, he can tell you every person's name that he's met there. And I'm just like astonished that he can do that, because I have trouble remembering people's names. Certain names.
I don't even know why I ask, because that just takes away my excuse to forget.
Yes.
Are we not expecting anyone tonight? Because I do know there was an earthquake in Mexico. I think.
Yes, Mark was not affected. I spoke with him. It was the capital of Mexico that was affected. He is farther away from the affected area, so he might be showing up tonight. I don't know. I haven't spoke to him since last Wednesday or Thursday.
Really? Because I thought this new earthquake just happened on Saturday.
Yeah, it's the same. It's in the same area. It's the capital, where it was an aftershock. It was an aftershock.
Hey, Michelle.
Hello, everybody. William,
Welcome.
we still can't see your face.
Okay, hold on. Let me put my tablet down. You'll be able to see my face because I'm holding my tablet. And let me move back some.
That's better, sort of.
It is better. Yeah, it's better than it was. That other thing was like crazy.
Okay.
Can you see yourself?
Yes. Yes. Oh, in fact, before I forget, let me wake up Aaron.
Oh, where do you wake him up?
Let me wake him up.
Better wake him up. He's my
I thought we didn't record until we were going to do the introductions.
Let's see.
I invited someone.
Let me mute myself because I'm going to be tapping. Let me mute myself. Because I'm going to be tapping. And I know that's going to be distracting. Why can't I mute myself?
Oh. Wonder where Trisha is. She's usually on there.
My mom's texting her.
And
so.
Adrian, I didn't see your speech title or an introduction. If you send it, I apologize. I might not have gotten it.
It's on the agenda.
Okay, I can look. I've got it printed out.
All right, and I take it you're the Toastmaster?
Oh, I do. Yep. I see it.
The objectives are there and everything.
I take it that you're the Toastmaster, Mrs. Sarah?
I am.
All right, I'll just send you my...
You need me to email
I
you
have
the
your
version
stuff,
of that.
Joshua. Really? Okay, well, all right. I guess my mom took care of that.
You have a very caring mother who sent it to me.
Yes, I'm very glad of that bit.
Yeah, I've got your speech title and your and what manual you're speaking from.
Which should be the first one. Yes, competency will get it. And it would be project number 2.
Yep, that's what I've got.
Really, I could keep on going on this topic. So you could. I would have asked for more time if but you know what? Then it just would have become a rambling dissertation, and that's not good.
Well, you
But it
can.
really is. It's a fascinating topic. At least I think it's a fascinating topic. I don't know what everyone else will think.
Well, we'll find out tonight. And if you love it so much, you can always spread it out into 10 speeches, right?
That probably would work. It really would.
Hi, Trisha.
Hello. Sorry, guys. I just wiped out today. And thank you, Michelle, for messaging me.
Did you forget?
No, I'm just really like, I've had 4 hours of sleep, and I just was like zoning out.
What are you doing?
I just couldn't sleep last night. I don't know what was going on. It happens occasionally. I've really bad what's the word?
Insomnia?
Insomnia, that's the word.
Get those dogs off the
But
bed.
it hasn't bothered me for a really long time, but yeah, it just came back with a vengeance last night, and I couldn't sleep at all.
Well, to cheer you up, we could talk about The Princess Bride.
Yay! I'm always up for that conversation.
Yes, we were driving back home from a Toastmasters meeting in a nearby town about a week ago, and I happened to mention offhand that I'd seen The Princess Bride recently. And Mrs. Groh, that's her favorite movie, so it was like me talking about the Lord of the Rings film trilogy.
Yes, I could pretty much like act out the entire movie line for line. I love it that much.
Wow.
That's great.
And the book is even better, so
I don't think I could do.
recommend it.
I don't think I could do that with the Lord of the Rings. It's like 10 hours compared to an hour and a
Yeah,
half.
well, The Lord of the Rings is several long books to actually read the whole
book,
thing.
One book, 3 parts, 6 subparts, which are also confusingly listed as books, but 3 movies. Oh my goodness.
All right, I have to get my word of the day ready. I have it, I just haven't prepared it so that everybody can see it. So I'm going to work on that. So just excuse me while I'm looking down.
Trisha, can we award you one more role tonight?
Sure, what do you need?
Odd counter.
Yes, I could do that. That's not a problem.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're our club mixes those two together anyway. Grammarian and odd counter is pretty much always the same person.
That's a good idea.
It just, because especially since our group is usually 6 people, so it's really hard to find an extra person just to do odd counter.
Yeah, absolutely. We do double roles too in our brick and mortar club. It's always
Yeah. We do on occasion too.
Right. I know I had the word of the day. Where did I put it? I'm trying to put it on my word here so I can share screen. So still working on that.
You just flip randomly in the dictionary and.
Well, I actually have a word of the day app, and I saw one the other day I really liked. I'm just trying to find it. Here we go.
Well, I call Aaron. He's not responding, so I guess he's not coming.
Okay.
All right, we'll be passing on the movie tonight because we don't. I don't know if any of you have it. I don't.
Isn't it the same movie every night or video every meeting?
Yes, I'm kind of tired of it. How about you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish they would fix the music because it over, like myself and even John, you can barely even hear us over that music.
way too long. It needs to be shortened.
Yeah.
Also, I kind of enjoyed the whole conversation part, like before the video.
Okay.
Besides,
If we're only going to have 7 people, we can do 2 speakers. I can speak another time.
Here we go.
is there a reason we're going to be missing a lot?
And by the way, since this is being recorded, Paul, no offense, the video is great. It's just you need to take a little break.
Oh,
We love you, Paul.
It's too long. Shorten it up. Way too long.
I'll start looking for snipers outside my windows tonight.
Ms. Taco's taking a test, so she won't be here till next week.
Yeah, she said she wasn't going to be here for a couple meetings.
Yeah,
Well-
she'll be back in October.
October. Oh,
Well-
we should.
At least there are no major natural disasters or anything keeping people away. It's just random occurrences.
You know what? Get that.
Well, we still need Neil, right? Because he's general evaluator.
I don't hear you.
I don't hear you either.
Does anyone hear my mom? Just so that
Yeah, she's very quiet, but you can hear her.
you're quiet, but
Putting her
okay.
headphones on.
Oh, there.
Okay, now we can hear her. She has the headset on.
There we go.
Well, it helps if you put the mic by your mouth.
I can take on body language monitor if you haven't assigned it to anyone.
I haven't yet. That sounds great.
Okay.
Dawn,
I don't.
I'll be willing to do chat monitor if you can't find anyone else.
Okay, that sounds great. So, as a chat monitor, would you be willing?
I just
Okay.
would be commenting on the chat discussions in the chat, basically.
Okay. Would you also be willing to fill that role as the sergeant of arms and take the votes also?
Sure.
Can you do that?
Yes,
Can you see the
yes,
chats?
yes,
Oh, yeah,
yes.
you can.
Yes, I can do. If you can fit it to me in the chat, I can do it. Yes.
Okay, that would be
Do we
great.
have a timer?
That is supposed to be.
Cherie?
Cherie is
Yeah,
Find out.
Toastmaster Thomas is supposed to do that charade.
Okay, so do I need to, I can fill in if you need me to do that.
Okay.
we might
Let me
need.
just download the app real quick because I take it off.
So what's the point really of the chat monitor and the body language monitor? Because I never really saw the use of that because it's not really like I don't want to say they don't
Then
do
that means
anything.
you have to get more creative in using your body language because you should be doing something other than sitting there.
Yeah, I do notice that I have a tendency, well, an intentional tendency to when I'm speaking just to hold the sides of the lectern, but not out of a sensation of weakness or anything like that.
Yeah, you have a big room there. You can stand up. You don't have to sit there and talk. So it's as you learn how to work online, then you can do more things.
Yes, I probably should. Although I don't know if I'll do that tonight because
Right,
I
but that's the
wasn't
purpose of
intending.
the question.
Yeah, and I think it's I think it's something that we're going to grow into, hopefully, as a club.
Yeah, other people use it well. It's just that for whatever reason, it's not being utilized as it should.
Well,
do we?
We don't want you to just sit there and talk. Somehow you got to have some emotion or some action or something that brings your speech to life.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's hard to do this every week, right?
I could move around the camera a bit.
I have a meeting that I do. I have several different Zoom meetings that I participate in, and one of them I wear a different hat. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Wear a different hat
Props.
every
To
single
incorporate a prop or something
Little
like that.
hats.
There you go. You're good cowboy, bad cowboy.
I'll wear this.
Yeah, props. We, you know,
This is just
some clubs
look.
have people have their backgrounds with images. They do a studio. They stand up. It's just that we have to utilize it a little bit more than we do.
Yeah, and I was going to ask about that too, because every Toastmasters meeting, really, shouldn't we have like the Toastmasters emblem somewhere?
The banner.
The banner, right? Like, so I was wondering if somebody has a banner, we could put it up, or it. I think Aaron had like the backgrounds that maybe he could play with something. And
I know other online clubs have a digital banner, so I know it's possible.
Yeah.
Well, didn't Miss Sacco do that one time?
She did it.
That's her green screen, I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, that was a green screen. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The banner, that green screen thing only actually works on Windows machines, though. I couldn't get it to work on my Mac.
oh, I'm sure that there's ways to make it happen.
Oh.
So.
So,
Yeah.
do we have backup evaluators for the speakers? If
I can be a backup evaluator, but William's an evaluator.
okay.
And Aaron's an evaluator, so we need to find someone to replace Aaron.
Well, that's why I'm saying something, because, you know, we have 4 minutes
we've
here,
only
so
got
try and get our ducks in a row.
I think we're ready. We're going to start at 8 on time in 3 minutes, and we're only going to do 2 speakers and 2 evaluators because that's all we have.
Okay.
No, well, I thought we had 3 speakers.
We do
Well,
have.
we have 3 speakers
Yeah,
and a
3
backup
speakers.
speaker, but it's not a problem. I'm just, they asked me to be a backup speaker, so my speech can wait. It's not a problem for me at all.
Yeah, we don't have an evaluator. That's why we have.
No, that's fine. I just did it because they asked me to, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Adrian?
Well, I can be the third evaluator if we do.
Well, Adrian, I don't need this speech. It's my 3rd CC manual. So if you need to fill in a CC manual, I'll step away. It's my 3rd manual. I don't need
No,
it.
you can. It's fine. You can still do it because I know Paul needs credits for the club as well. So that's fine.
Okay.
It's, you know, and if you want, I can email Marty. I can send you an evaluation and we can do it. That's fine.
Sure.
If we have time, we fine. If we don't, skip it. I'm okay with it.
And do we have a table topics? Or
Me.
yeah,
Marty.
that's you, Marty. Okay,
Yes.
great. Awesome.
Okay.
We'll get started here.
I wish they had a
Counting down. 5, 4. I don't have a countdown timer, but. And who's acting as the president tonight? Are
I
you?
suppose it would be the highest.
That would be
Probably
Marty.
Marty.
Is that correct?
That would be Marty.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
I'll take the hat off, though. I don't look so
Oh,
presidential with a cowboy hat.
Oh, Ronald Reagan.
That's true. Although I don't think he.
Okay.
Looks good.
So how much time do we have left?
Okay, so we're ready to go?
Ready to go.
All right. So William, are you being president or am I being president? Oh, I
You
am.
are, Marty.
Well, you're Sergeant at Arms, though, so go ahead.
Acting President Marty.
Okay, so you're going to be Sergeant at Arms, though, so you can start it off.
Okay. Welcome to Competitive Communicators. I am your Acting Sergeant at Arms, William Thomas. I turn control of this meeting to our Acting President, Marty Green.
Oh, thank you for the kind introduction, William. Welcome, everybody, to tonight's Toastmaster meeting, a meeting of competitive communicators. We have an exciting meeting planned. First, we have some great table topics, we hope, and then we will also have 3 wonderful speakers. But let's start out right now by introducing everybody. So why don't we start off, Mr. Josh Orsi.
What do I say about myself beyond my name?
Your name, where you're from.
All right.
Mr. President.
All right. My name is Joshua Orsi. I'm from the planet Earth, specifically Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Back to you, Mr. Acting President.
Okay, welcome, Josh. Trisha.
Hi, I'm Trisha Grow. I'm also from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania area, and I am back to you, Mr. Acting President.
Thank you, Trish. Okay, Dawn.
Hi, I'm Dawn Nocera, and I am in Columbus, Ohio, Central Ohio, where it is unusually hot this time of year. Back to you, Mr. Acting President.
Thank you, Dawn. Okay, Adrian.
Hi, I'm Adrian Williams. I'm from Miami, Florida, and I'm the current president for the Fountain of New Life Toastmaster Club. Hello.
Awesome. Welcome. And William, last but not least.
Mr. Presiding Officer, fellow Toastmasters, my name is Toastmaster William Thomas, co-sponsor of this club and Vice President membership. Back to you, Mr. Acting President.
All right, thank you. If somebody, by the way, Sherry Thomas is trying to get on. If somebody can help her out, it'd be great. Okay, and my name is Marty Green. I'm from Palm City, Florida, and happy to be the presiding officer this evening. Without further ado, I would like to introduce our Toastmaster of the day, Dawn Nocera. Dawn, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Acting President. We missed one person, that's Rolando, who popped in at the very last minute. So I'd like to ask you to introduce yourself, Rolando, and let us know where you are coming from. And yeah.
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Rolando Goldman. I'm in Palm Beach, Florida. I'm delighted to be here. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you, Rolando.
Good catch, Tom.
Yeah, no problem.
Madam Toastmaster, I just heard from our Sergeant at Arms, Aaron. He's on his way.
Great. Thank you so much. So he will be doing his job as evaluator when he joins us. So tonight's meeting, I'm going to introduce the awe counter, and I just gave the awe counter an to start out with. So our awe counter tonight is Tricia. Hello, Tricia. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself and your role tonight?
Hello. Yes, thank you, Dawn. I will be listening to our filler words, ahs, ums, and so's, whatever word you tend to use when you're looking to look for your next word. I'll be listening and taking count. Back to you. This is Toastmaster.
And you're also acting as our grammarian as well. So would you give us our word for the day and tell us a little bit about the grammarian's role?
Yes. As the grammarian, I'll be listening for uses of language, and both good, poor, and good. And our word of today, I will be sharing my screen here, is castigate. It is a verb. It means to reprimand someone severely. Used in a sentence, if you take a mean teacher's books, even accidentally, you might worry that she's going to castigate you as soon as she finds out. So let's try not to castigate each other tonight. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Can't hear you.
Dawn, you're muted.
Yes, I am. Thank you. Our next role for tonight is the timer. And Rolando is going to act as our timer tonight. Rolando, could you please tell us what your role is about and let us know what you do?
Yes, Madam Toastmaster. My duty is to keep track of time during each segment of the meeting. During the segment of the meeting, you're going to have a green light. You're then going to have a yellow light, then a red light. Then you're going to have 30 seconds to wrap up. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you, Rolando. That was great. And next, I'd like to introduce our general evaluator, Neil, who just came on. I hope that you are all set up here and ready to go.
Hello, I'm Neil August, South Florida. My role of general evaluator is to tell the portion of the meeting where we learn what we did well and what we can improve upon. Back to you, Don.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. And did I forget anyone's roles before I move on to the table topics? Nope. Okay, so the next part of our meeting is just in general, we're going to have the table topics and we'll have our speakers. And at this time, I would like to introduce our table topics master, who is Marty Green tonight. And would you tell us what that role is about and just lead us right into that, Marty?
Sure. Thank you, Dawn. Table topics are an opportunity for guests and members to learn how to speak off the cuff when they are presented with a question that they don't know in advance. The table topics last 1 to 2 minutes, and the objective is just to give an answer to the question or to shift it to an answer you do want to give. That sometimes is an option that people take advantage of. Tonight's table topics, I hope you won't castigate me, but I'm going to change things up just a little bit. Toastmasters is all about learning about the diversity of our membership. So I'm going to give you a chance to pick the person you would like to know more about. And so the first person I'm going to call on to ask is Aaron. Aaron, who would you like to know something more about?
Actually, the first person I wanted to point out is you, but you can't. So I have to ask someone else, right? Okay, so first, I'll pick Joshua.
Joshua, okay. Joshua, the question for you is, when you go on vacation, are you more likely to pack a swimsuit, a scarf and gloves, or hiking boots? And why?
Personally, I just like to stay at the hotel, so none of those really work. But I can tell you why I don't pack any of those things. And here's why. Ever since I've been young, I have had a great trepidation of water. Not a fear in the sense of, oh my goodness, I'm afraid I'm going to drown, but really just a fear of getting cold and wet. I've never really liked that. In fact, I've never really liked getting in any pool. I did go to pools when I was younger, and I did have fun. Just for the record, I did have fun, Mother. I was not being tormented or anything. But as I've gotten older, I just don't like to be in the water as much. I like to go near water, but not willing to get in it. In fact, when I went to Europe recently and we had the opportunity to swim in the Adriatic Sea, I didn't actually take up the captain on that opportunity. So my parents are not letting me hear the end of that. Hiking boots. I don't much care for hiking. But however, I do like walking. And I love to sometimes to walk up into the hills. Nothing too strenuous, mind you. But I love, back when I lived in Arizona, I loved the view from one of the hills on our military post. And while it wasn't really hiking, my family did go up there sometimes. It was very enjoyable. The wind, the quiet, well, relatively quiet, the great view, truly magnificent. And why I don't pack a scarf and gloves, well, I don't like to be cold. It's the same thing as the water. So yes, while I might go to some more alpine regions, it's not really a place I'm going to stay. I would much prefer to be, say, in the South Pacific or someplace that's warm, or Florida. Let's just get that out there. Someplace that's warm and not really cold or in any way cool. So, Mr. Tabletop Toastmaster, that is why I would not pack a swimsuit, not pack a scarf and gloves, and not pack hiking boots.
Thank you, Josh. Madam Timer, do you have your, did I not give you the chance to start your clock?
No, I got it.
Oh, you got it?
Yep.
It's Rolando's the timer.
Oh, Rolando, okay. Good, I just wanted to make sure.
Mhm.
Okay, that was a great answer, Josh. So, Aaron, do you feel like you learned a little more about Josh?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
I do.
Fantastic. Okay, Trish, tell us who you'd like to know something more about.
I think I would like to learn a little bit more about Adrian.
All right.
Okay.
Adrian, tell us about the teacher who most influenced the course of your life and how.
Oh, what a great question. It would be my mother. You see, my mother was a teacher. She was so amazing. She was a mathematician. She had a photographic memory. I didn't get that gene of the photographic memory, but I certainly have a semi-photographic memory, so I remember all types of weird things. The reason she was very instrumental to me in my life is because of her resilience. She was a single parent. She worked at a company that she started when she was 20 with the school board. She actually worked there for 30 years. And she was 50 years old and couldn't retire because you had to have either the years or the age. So she had to work another 5 years to get to 55. That type of commitment is something I don't know. You see, because I was always the entrepreneurial spirit. I wanted to be at this place and have freedom and time. So I chose to do real estate and not have the security that my mother had through a pension and all of that. So when I think back now, I'm thinking, man, did I make the right decision? I had all that freedom, but what about retirement? I'm not going to have that pension. I'm going to have to use the money I've set aside in 401k, and I know how to flip houses and flip real estate, so I have to flip houses to make a lump sum of money, but I'll never have that 30 plus years that she had. And amazingly, she actually died when she was 67. And to know that she had fulfilled all the things on this earth that she was called to do left me wondering, what is my purpose? What am I supposed to leave as my legacy to everyone there? So it's still a part of me to make sure that I don't leave this planet not fulfilling what I was created to do, like she did. She touched a lot of people through her students, other teachers, the parents. She did a Harambe Club where she took students to African American schools to show them other things outside of Dade County. And she also taught them how to raise money. So I actually know how to make candy apples because we used to make them and sell them. So that's one of my little gifts, that I'm really good at candy apples. Crunchy, not sticking in your teeth, the best ones. Fellow Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Oh, Adrian, great answer. Okay. And by the way, in real estate, I'm sure you have a great impact and legacy because you put people in the homes of their dreams. So I know people have an impact, and that was great. Okay, so next we have two more. Josh, since you got to answer the first one, who would you like to learn more about?
I would like to learn more about, well, permit me to reciprocate, Mr. President. I would like to learn more about Aaron.
Oh, okay.
Namely his legal career, but I can't pick that. I can't pick that question.
All right. Well, so Aaron, when you know you need to accomplish a task, but you really don't want to do it right now, what do you do?
With your mic, we can't hear you. Unmute yourself.
Thank you. Thank you for a reminder. Right off the bat, I definitely do not want to dissect a crops right now. At this moment when I just wake up, I need a coffee. So first of all is that although many people would know that my legal profession will be mainly on the criminal field, but not many people know that my other job will be focusing on forensic. So the part whereby I have to dissect the crops is actually we will have to do the whole entire process. That we have to go to the crime scene and look at the body, test for other fingerprints, etc. Like a real CSI, but it's very different though. The actual facts of seeing a live body compared to real live television is that the real situation is much more disgusting than the one that is portrayed very nicely and photoshopped on the screen. So what I usually do is to come up with my colleagues and then really do more on investigation, looking at everything else, and trying to avoid puking because sometimes the dead body is gross. When you smell it, it was like, I need to have my mask on. And usually I don't because I may have to go for a court case after that. So I have to go back to the office, do the usual thing whereby I have to see the time of death, why he died, and examining every single elements in there. And I just like, I actually want to make a confession because I'm afraid of blood. The reason why I'm afraid of blood is because I thought I killed a real live body. But another true confession is that I don't care if it's a dead body, because they at least don't respond. So what I did is to examine the body because the blood of the body, it actually tells how the person died, by how long. So we will examine it and also get some extracts and samples, usually do a very thorough analysis before we pass on to the expert witness. So simply I do not want to do right now is to examine the crops right now. So back to you, Tabletop Master.
Wow, that was very revealing, Aaron. I did not know you did that. Okay, awesome. All right, last one. This one I'm going to pick, actually. Michelle Orsi. What is your favorite book of all time? One that you might read more than once, excluding the Bible.
Marty, that is my favorite book of all time.
Well, I figured. So other than that.
My favorite book of all time, well, this is terrible. Even though I'm a homeschooling mom, I have never liked to read. What is my favorite book of all time?
Well, one that you found very influential was The Deadliest Monster.
The Deadliest Monster by Baldwin. Jeff Baldwin, that's right. That's one of my more recent reads that I can think of right now. He takes two stories, Dr. Jekyll and Dr. Hyde and Frankenstein, and he asks you, what kind of person are you? Are you the person that sees good in everyone else and always looking for the right outcome and the happy ending? Or are you the person that can be like one way 1 minute and switch the other way the next minute? And he calls it the ugliest monster. Which monster are you? Well, each one of us has both monsters because we do want everything for me, myself, and I. Yet at the same time, if you ask me if I was going to hell, I wasn't, because I'm a good person and all good people would go to heaven, right? I like the way that he brings that analysis. It did drive me to listen to Frankenstein. I don't read, I listen. We listen to a lot of audiobooks. In my most current reading, I would say The Deadliest Monster by Jeff Baldwin is my favorite book. Tabletop Toastmaster.
Oh, okay. See, I would have taken you for a bookworm, but okay. That's revealing in its own way, isn't it? I actually like to listen to them also. I have more time for that than I do to read, so I can certainly identify with that. Well, thank you for some great answers and for calling out some great people to give those answers. And I want to return the meeting right now to our Toastmaster of the day, Dawn Nocera.
Thank you, Marty. Thank you so much. And that wraps up the table topics portion of our meeting. Now we are moving into our speakers tonight. And you can all hear me? Yeah? Okay. Good. Our first speaker tonight is Michelle Orsi. We just heard from. And a little something you may not know about Michelle is a long time ago, she used to be a springboard diver in high school and the only girl that played pickup ice hockey on the lake after school during winter. Athletics was her thing. Tonight, Michelle's speaking from the Competent Communicators Manual, project number 1, The Icebreaker. And her title is Imagine Life Without. Imagine Life Without Michelle Orsi.
I am sharing my screen for the very first time. And I did practice this, but this was not the way it came up originally. Imagine life without the blessing of family, without the imagination of dreams, and without the joy of the hope for the future. My family. We dream, we hope, we celebrate birthdays. And in fact, in our house, we celebrate the whole birthday and the half birthdays. And my daughter has managed to get the quarter birthdays in there to be celebrated. We love taking autumn pictures, hiking, even though my son said he wouldn't bring his hiking boots. We love to hike, and we love national parks. My husband and I, my husband's name is Doug, we met in college in 1986, and we both became Army officers together. There were no sign of children for the first 10 years of our marriage because we were so busy being Army officers. But then, kids, here they came. It took that child number 1 that got me out of the Army, my first love, and then gave me my ultimate love of mommyhood. It won out. Our kids, Joshua, whom you know, is 17, and Sedona is 8. These two have been peas in a pod since the very beginning. Moving. We have always moved. We have moved 17 times in 27 years in our military career. We currently live in Gettysburg, hence the photo of the cannon right there. If you're ever close to this area, please let me know and stop by our home. We also have found our home, and we live on a little farmette. My husband is quite the little farmer there. This year he has pickled 57 jars of cucumbers into pickles. Last year he took 130 pounds of tomatoes and made tomato sauce. And the center picture there, we have always homeschooled, and we think that life is the perfect classroom. Personalities in my family. Our kids are so opposite, yet they both play instruments. Sedona plays the piano in a recital there you see, and Joshua plays the violin, and he's doing a duet with his instructor there. Both of them shoot weapons, and you see Joshua with his prize. Let me tell you about that stuffed deer. First day out hunting, first hour out hunting, first shot, 1 kill. That thing hangs in his bedroom, and it faces his bed. Scary and freaky. Our daughter's the one who shoots and she fishes. She loves archery. She throws axes and knives. But she does like to be with her daddy and daughter. Princess dates with her dad. And Joshua, of course, likes the finer things of life, like cruising with his grandmother in Europe and speaking in public. There he is, being a Toastmaster in Youth Toastmasters at the age of 14. The animals in our lives, don't we all love them? Every chicken in our household has a name, and they are well loved. My daughter is here checking out my slides. Ozzy is the cat that you've seen sit on my lap. He is dearly loved. He takes all kinds of twists and turns. And our 2 most unlikely best friends are horses. Rio is my horse, who used to be Joshua's, but one day he felt like he didn't want a horse anymore, so he is mine. Dee Dee is our true miniature horse, and she will never grow taller than 34 inches at her withers. She is a miniature horse and not a pony. Dee Dee and Sedona have the same attitude about life. They think it's fun. Imagine life without the blessing of family, without dreams or hopes even for the future. Then remember the blessing of your family and friends and the value that you have in them every single day. Madam Toastmaster.
Dawn, you're on mute.
The next, thank you, Michelle. And Rolando, the timers report, or the time for Joshua is 5 to 7 minutes. And my apologies for not getting that to you for Michelle before her speech started.
All right, thank you. How about Adrian?
And Adrian is also 5 to 7. Is that correct, Adrian?
Before we continue, 6 to 8.
Oh, 6 to 8. Sorry, it's right here.
Martin, can you make me as a co-host just in case? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so next up we have Joshua. And Joshua is busy attending open houses and deciding which college fits him, and he's leaning towards a major in anthropology. Tonight he will be speaking from the Competent Communicator Manual, project number 2, and his speech title is Decline and Fall. Decline and Fall, Joshua Orsi.
What a depressing title, and really what a depressing speech after so heartwarming and uplifting a talk is about family. That being said, the decline and fall of the Western Roman Empire is the pivotal event, arguably in the history of Western civilization. This was the end of the classical age, the end of Greece and Rome and their wisdom and their beauty, and the beginning of the European Middle Age, the medieval era. And at the end of that Middle Age came the Renaissance, the early modern period, and then the world as we know it today. The decline and fall of the Western Roman Empire was a process that was carried out over hundreds of years. However, it was only in the 18th century, particularly the late 1700s, that the historian Edward Gibbon, an Englishman, decided to to launch an intensive study into the causes and effects of the fall of the Western Roman Empire. And he published his magnum opus, The Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire. Gibbon came up with a multitude of reasons for why the Roman Empire, specifically the Western Roman Empire, fell. However, in this 5 to 7 minute speech, I can only summarize a few of them. They are economic, moral, and cultural. Economically speaking, the Western Roman Empire, and really at this time the Roman Empire as a whole, had a pretty strong economy at first. It was very prosperous, it was at peace, the market was free. However, somewhere along the line, the emperors began to kill each other, and there were wars, and there were civil unrest, and emperors were overthrown, and so we got into what was called the crisis of the 3rd century. And finally, at the tail end of that, the Emperor Caracalla, who was probably insane, decided that he was going to inflate the currency. He didn't have enough money to pay his bills, basically. He didn't have enough money to fund the empire. So he decided to increase the amount of currency in circulation. He decided to devalue the Roman coin, the denarius. The denarius at this time was basically the dollar of that day. It was a solid silver coin. It was widely used in currency exchange. It was basically what the people used in their day-to-day lives. And so Caracalla reasoned that he could get more money if he simply devalued that coin, if he mixed lead in, and he mixed tin and other base metals, so he could save more silver and make more coins. Unfortunately, because there were more coins going around, more denariuses, prices began to rise. They went up tenfold in many parts of the empire. Government spending ballooned out of proportion. The government taxes rose. In fact, the inheritance tax was doubled. And the economic climate of the Roman Empire, which up until this point had been relatively free, was greatly stifled. And so we see here, Edward Gibbon noted, that inflation and currency debasement was one of the leading causes of the decline of the Roman Empire. But currency debasement did not end there. This had effects. This era of inflation, with get-rich-quick schemes and rising prices and therefore rising profits, created an atmosphere of greed and avarice, where hard work and the work ethic were frowned upon. And this greedy society now, greedy because of the possibility of quick gain, began to become increasingly immoral. Roman society, which was known for its virtue, and the Roman virtues, for example, piety that you might have heard of, Roman society began to be corrupted with pederasty, pedophilia, incest, divorce, a breakdown of the socio-familial order that had kept the Roman Empire together in its golden years. The thievery became more common. Tax collectors stole from people, and when the government when they had no more people to steal from, the government stole from the tax collectors themselves. An air of avarice and immorality pervaded the empire, and this began to dim the glory of Rome. People no longer looked to Rome as really a city of beauty and brilliance. They looked to it as a city of cruelty and of corruption. But this was not the end of the decline of Rome. It still continued. The culture of Rome deteriorated. Rome and Greece, you look at their ancient cities, you look at their art and their architecture, it's known the world over. Roman architecture, the Roman arch, Venus de Milo, I believe that's Greek, although it may be Roman as well. The statuary, the sculptures of the Roman Empire. Brilliant. That's the art upon which Western civilization is based. But as greed and immorality pervaded the Roman Empire, Romans no longer looked to these things of beauty as their heritage. They began to forget about them. The arts and the culture of Rome began a long and slow decline. So that by the 5th century AD, Western Rome was but a husk of what the Roman Empire had been under, say, Augustus or Trajan or Hadrian, the great emperors of old. Rome finally fell in 476 AD. It was a long and slow decline. The emperor was basically kicked out by his own generals, and nobody bothered to crown an emperor after him. And it was the end of arguably the most influential civilization in the history of the world, the Roman Empire. However, we can see today that this decline was preventable. The Romans could have spent less money. They could have adopted a more sane fiscal policy. They could have maintained the integrity of the denarius. They could have, and this in turn would have kept up the old morality of the Roman Empire, and it would have sustained the great culture of the Roman Empire. But alas, they did not, and Rome is now in the ash heap of history. And at the end of this speech, I ask you to look at our culture today, and indeed the entire culture of the West. Where do we see the effects of the Roman decline in us? Are we experiencing the same decline and fall of our own empire? Madam Toastmaster.
Muted. Yay. Thank you. Thank you, Joshua. And our next speaker tonight will be Adrian. And give me a second. She will be speaking from the storytelling manual, A Touching Story. And my apologies, Adrian, I don't see your introduction on. Yes, so we know that she's a real estate investor, and we might learn a little bit more about her tonight. So help me welcome Adrian. And her title, once again, is Fighting the Death Angel. Fighting the Death Angel, Adrian.
Okay, sorry about that. Wow. Once upon a time, there was a family. There was a mother, a daughter, and a father. And they lived in Georgia, beautiful Georgia, where it snows in the winter. It's freezing cold down to the 10, 20, 30 degrees. And they had a little baby. And so when the baby was born, the doctor said, this baby has a problem. This baby is not going to live. She has a problem that she's born in her blood, and she is not going to be able to live. The longer you keep her in this cold weather, the more problems she will have. And even if you take her anywhere else, it's most likely that this child is not going to see a full life. She's going to always have problems and heartache in her life, and she probably most likely won't live beyond a teenager. So the parents said, what? What are we going to do? How can we make this better? I know. We're going to leave Georgia. We're going to go move to Florida where it's sunny, the weather's good. We're going to go there. Because if the cold weather makes her ill and makes her worse, let's move. Let's quit our jobs and go to Florida. The father is like, what? What do you mean? I'm not quitting my job to go to Florida. We don't know if this is true. We're at the beginning of this. This may or may not happen. How can we just uproot our lives over a possibility? We don't know what's going to happen. So, of course, you know, the mother is not going to hear what this father is saying. She doesn't want to hear that. All she knows is that she has a sick child, and a mother's natural instinct is to go in and protect her child. So they leave their jobs. They move to Florida. They go get this new doctor in Florida who says, listen, I've heard of some new things. We're going to try some experimental drugs. We're going to do different things to help her. But they notice maybe he's right. With the warm weather, there's no cold. It's 90 degrees year round. She doesn't seem to be having as many problems as she did in Georgia, in the hospital with all of this. So we're going to try to live here, but we're going to be very protective over this child because we know she's on borrowed time because the death angel is coming for her. We just don't know what day. So we're going to put her in this little plastic bubble, and we're going to be very protective. We're not going to let her go do all of these things because she's not going to live long anyway. So we're going to control what's going to happen in her life. Okay. So the little girl says, Mommy, my friend asked me to come to a sleepover. Can I go? She's like, okay, honey, I'm going to ask your father and then I'll get back with you. So she asked the father, honey, what do you think about having her go to the sleepover? He says, nope, I need to know what's going on. You made me leave Georgia to be in Florida to look at this situation, so she can't go do that. They can come over here, but she can't go over there. And so mommy comes back and tells the little girl, sorry, honey, you cannot go over there, but you can have your friends come here to do a sleepover. Oh, man, I don't want to stay here. I want to go there. I want to go to their house. Nope, that's the only condition that you have because you have a problem and we have to have you here. You can't go. Why? Is the death angel coming for me again? Well, honey, we don't know when that's going to happen, but we have to make sure he doesn't get you. So, no, they can come here. You can't go there so we can watch you. Okay, a few more years go by. Nothing happens. Now, it's time for school. Okay, Mom, I'm going to school today. I'm in PE. The child is going. Okay, the assignment today, we're going to go do laps. You need to run over to that fence and back. Everyone's ready? Start running. So the little girl's running, doing the exercise, trying to do whatever this assignment is in PE. So she gets to the fence. There's this big fence that's very tall at the top. At the fence, you're supposed to stop and turn around, and go back and run back to where you started from. The little girl is exhausted. Oh my gosh, it's so hot out here. I'm so hot. I'm tired. I'm running, but I'm out of breath. I just can't go anymore. Next thing you know, the little girl passes out. She's blacked out, laying on the ground. Everybody runs, come over, see what's going on. What's going on? Call 911. It's an emergency. Next thing you know, she wakes up in the hospital. What happened? You were running, doing the exercise, and then you passed out. So the parents are looking over the little girl in the bed because now she had to have fluids. She was dehydrated from all of the running out, so they had to go and take care of her in the hospital. And so the mommy says, okay, that's it. You can't go take PE anymore. No more running for you. Here we are. We have to put you back in the plastic bubble because we don't know when this death angel may come for you. So you can no longer take PE or do any of that. So the little girl's like, oh, man, I just want to be like everybody else. All my friends get to do everything. They get to do cheerleading and football and basketball. I don't get to do anything. It's not fair. I don't want to live in a plastic bubble. So the little girl's mom said, we're going to find something that you can do. Okay? So she goes out and she finds a Monopoly game. And the Monopoly game is full of all this money. So the mother is teaching her how to play Monopoly. And amazingly, the little girl has these insane mathematical skills and loves counting money. Finally, she has something she could do that's safe that she can be watched on. The next thing that happens is she's older now. She says, Mom, I'm going to college. I want to go to this school. Okay, we're going to let you go to school. You passed teenager. The death angel didn't come yet, so we're going to let you go to school. She goes to school, comes back home. She graduated from college. She's now in her 30s. The death angel is still not there. Next thing you know, she's in her career. She's working. All of a sudden, here we go again. Something happened. I'm in the movie theater. This little girl sitting there. She's a woman now because she's grown up. She's sitting there watching the movie and gets these pains, this excruciating pain. She's on a date with her boyfriend, Mr. Mike. Mr. Mike is like, well, what is going on? This pain, it just won't go away. I need to leave. You need to call the emergency. I need to go to the emergency room because I have this pain that won't go away. So they go to the emergency room. The nurses are like, okay, we have to check you in. We're going to put you on a morphine drip to help you with the pain. Turns out that before you know it, it's a week in the hospital. Everyone's calling from all over the place because surely the death angel has finally come. The person's laying in bed. They're unconscious. They can't lift their body. They can't get up and go to the bathroom. They had to have someone come and feed them. It was as if all the body organs were shutting down. And so the girl's boyfriend, Mr. Mike, says, I think you need to just go out in the sun. Take her in a wheelchair. You need to get out of this hospital room with all these people, have some sun, and then you need to change her diet, pick her food, help her out, do these things. And before you know it, the little girl had grown up and was getting better. And she was still fighting the death angel because everyone thought, this is what we've been waiting for. All these years, this is it. So week in the hospital, this is it. The girl recovered. Slowly but surely, everything got better. And she was no longer fighting the death angel. She is now 51 years old. And that little girl was me. I have fought the death angel all my life. They said I have sickle cell, and a lot of sickle cell people do die before they're 30. But not me. I'm 51, and you don't have to believe what everyone says. And the death angel, no matter who gave it to you, you can fight the death angel because it doesn't have to be your story. Mr. Toastmaster.
Oh, yay. Thank you so much. Thank you for that speech. And now we are going to go on to our evaluation portion of the meeting, and I'm going to introduce our general evaluator, and that is Neil. Neil Auguste, our general evaluator, and he will be leading this next portion of our meeting. Thank you, Neil.
Hello, I'm the general evaluator of the evening. This portion of the meeting, our members give feedback on their speeches. They learn what they have done well and what they can improve upon. Will the timer please give us the parameters for this portion of the meeting?
Yes, Mr. General Evaluator. At 2 minutes, you get a green light. 2 minutes and 30 seconds, you get a yellow light. At 3 minutes, you get a red light, and you have 30 seconds to wrap up. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Rolando. Our first evaluator of the evening is going to be Aaron Long. He's going to be evaluating Michelle Orsi. Please welcome Aaron Long.
Hi. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, most distinguished guests from all around the world. It's my honor to evaluate Michelle in her first CC1 project, which I think she has done quite a lot of times already. No, I'm kidding. So I will evaluate based on the speech project's objectives. So the speech objectives would be that it's just letting people to really understand more about her speaking style. So in a very nice wrap up. Michelle actually tried for the first ever time to share the screen with everyone about her life. And I would say and comment that that was an amazing effort because not only you have overcome it, you have actually given us joy and also more about letting us understanding your family life. And I'm definitely not trying to reach your house because I may be shot by Joshua or your daughter because they are good at hunting and archery. So the next thing is that she focused very greatly on vocal variety. You know how she talks alongside with every single picture in that screen itself. You can see the audience are captured by her beauty of her voice and also how it matches with the liveliness of every photo that comes along with it, along with some details. And as the time flies through, at the end, we get a very nice group photo of a family. That is a very nice wrap-up because at least the lingering impression, usually in every speeches, would be just a recurring message. But to us, it's a picture, and picture lasts longer than a phrase or a quote. I would like to really congratulate Michelle for doing successfully on project number 1. And if you want to be a better speaker, I would like to give 2 extra tips to refine it to be better, even better. The first thing is the art of PowerPoint presentation. As you notice, most of the photos are cramped in just one PowerPoint slides. And that is very useful generally to a crowd whereby we can really listen to everything that you say. However, for the main points that you want to illustrate, it will be better to put one paid picture per slide, or maybe a few wordings, so that the focus will be there. Secondly, we want to also notice on how different theme works. I did notice too much wordings there. A few words, 2 to 3 words, will actually surface to highlight the main important element in your speech. Not only does it guide you, but it also gives the audience an impression of what to anticipate next. So these are the 2 PowerPoint tips that I would like to give to you. And really, I love your speech and look forward to your next one. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Okay. Our next evaluator is going to be William Thomas, evaluating Joshua Orsi. Please welcome William Thomas. Unmute your microphone, William. Unmute it.
Marty, put me as a co-host to unmute.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Master Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and especially Joshua Orsi. Joshua, your speech intrigued me. I really didn't know anything about the Roman Empire, but you brought it to life for me. You made it more interesting for me, and I'm sure if you asked any of our fellow Toastmasters, they would agree with me. 2 points to make this speech a little bit better. First, vocal variety. You need to have some highs and some lows in your speech. That will attract your audience. Second point, you need to focus your camera. It looked like to me that you were at an angle, but I could be wrong. I would have liked to have seen some gestures from you in your speech, or when you talked about a certain point about, I'll give you a good example. When I did my icebreaker speech, I did first point, I did 1 finger. Second point, I did 2 fingers. Third point, I did 3 fingers. So something like that will also add to your speech. Overall, great speech. For number 2, yes, you met your objective. I turn it back to you, Mr. Master Evaluator.
Thank you, William, for the evaluation. Our third evaluator this evening will be Martin Green, evaluating Adriana. Please welcome Marty Green.
Adriana, first, fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests, particularly Adriana. Adriana's speech was number 4 in the advanced.
Adrienne. Yeah, Adrienne.
What did I say?
No, Anna. Adrienne.
I thought I said Adriana. I'm sorry. Adriana's idea or purpose was to tell a story, an original story, and create emotion and develop the story through setting, plots, characters, and to make a clear point, and also to arouse emotions. Adriana, you met these objectives in some very significant ways. First of all, in terms of emotions, there's nothing more emotional than thinking about the life of your child and worrying the whole time that they might pass away. There's nothing more fearful than losing a child at an early age. So that generated emotion right from the very beginning and caught our attention. And it developed throughout the story. The settings, you started out in Georgia, which does have snow in the winter, I can confess, sometimes more than others, having lived there. And then you moved to Florida, where it was very hot, and you used some very clearing words to describe the temperature and the change in the scenery. So that was very, very effective. You used several different characters in a story, and you used their language and their dialogue to develop them so you could tell which one was which. One thing I might have done was use a little more vocal variety to be able to distinguish one character from the other. That might have been one way I'd love to have seen more. And also to change the tempo. You used pretty much one tempo and use the word so many, many times. That's one word you might want to watch for in doing that. But I love the ending. It was a surprise, particularly that it was you. And I'm so glad that you survived to this age and that you overcame all that and that you remember it so pleasantly and are able to describe it and be able to move people in that way. And I look forward to your next talk and to learn more about what you've accomplished in your life and how living that life and having those challenges has moved you in one direction or the other. And sorry for the distraction of the puppy in the background. Madam Toastmaster?
The General Evaluator. That was great.
We do want to do the voting. We haven't done voting on any of the table topics or speaking or evaluation, so just
Okay, please vote for your best evaluator. Send your votes to Aaron. Also, please vote for table topics and your best speaker. Send all of the votes to Aaron. Did everybody qualify for the evaluation?
Mr. Junior Evaluator, all but one. William had 1 minute and 40 seconds. Aaron has 3 minutes and 17 seconds. And Marty had 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Back to you, Mr. Junior Evaluator.
All right, thank you.
We can't hear you.
Oh, thank you. So thank you, Rolando. The meeting started on time. I presume I was a little bit late. All the speakers did good jobs on their manual. I like the table topics for this evening. And I'm seeing people saying, please vote at once. I'm going to turn the control of the meeting now to the Toastmaster of the day. Don?
Hi, yeah, that's me. Everyone, take a second to put your votes in if you haven't already. And I'm going to do that as well.
Dawn.
Yes, Trisha.
We sort of skipped a roll.
We did. What role is that?
The and grammarian.
And grammarian counter. Okay, well then let's get the and grammarian counter in here while we're all voting. So, Trisha, would you give us the grammarians report and the counters report?
Yes, thank you, Madam Toastmaster. So I thought, yeah, just use so. Pretty good. Anyway, other than that, we had a very clean meeting this evening. Marty was the only one that managed to use castigate that I noticed. If he did use it, I apologize, I didn't catch it. Adrian used the word instrumental, which I really liked. Aaron said so, I think, like 1 time, so good job. Joshua had a few so's. And Adrian had quite a few so's. And you have a favorite phrase that you need to work on. The next thing you know, try and find a different transition.
Okay.
But it was like everywhere. It was lots and lots of salt throughout that story. So, yeah. So again, I'm marking myself when I say so. That is all I have. So, yeah, I need to find a different transition word myself. I apologize. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Awesome. You could use awesome as a transition word. Thank you so much, Madam Grammarian, and thank you everyone for such a great meeting. And I am very, what's that?
I have body language.
And the body language, yes. Please share the body language report, Adrian.
Okay, awesome. Michelle, I thought you did a good job when you stood up. You also did a hand motion from one way to another, which I thought was really good. Aaron, you did a great job when you were talking about the smell of the dead body and the mask, because you actually covered your nose like smell. Joshua, a great example of something you could have done was you were talking about the decline of Rome. That would have been a great opportunity to say the decline of Rome. Sometimes if we move too fast on the screen, it looks weird, fuzzy. So if you can just do slower movements, that helps to eliminate that. William, when you stood up, your stomach was talking to us. We could not see your face.
Well, I stayed on my camera. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so you're going to have to practice a Zoom session when you're not on Toastmasters, so you can play it back, because you can record the session and see yourself, and then you can see what we're seeing, because we're really not getting your participation in the meeting like we should. And you have a lot to offer the meeting, so if we could work that out, that would be great. Back to you, fellow Toastmaster.
Great, thank you so much. Did I miss any other roles before we wrap up this meeting?
Yes. Chat monitor.
The chat monitor, and then we're going to do the voting, the announcement of who wins the awards tonight. So go ahead.
Well, I don't really have anything to report except that congratulations to Adrian on a great speech. I was emotionally moved by your speech. I did not know that about you. I actually have a friend who has the same disease. So I know what you went through, sort of. So congratulations to you for surviving that and living to be as mature as you are.
Thank you.
I give it back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, thank you. And can we have the results for our vote counting tonight?
Madam Toastmaster, can I give a quick timer report?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Yes. For table topics, we have Joshua at 2 minutes, Adrian at 2 minutes and 7 seconds, Aaron at 2 minutes and 15 seconds, Michelle at 1 minute 45 seconds. For the speakers, we have Michelle again at 5 minutes and 5 seconds. We have Joshua at 6 minutes and 50 seconds. We had Adrian at 8 minutes and 38 seconds. For the evaluator, we had Aaron at 3 minutes and 17 seconds. William at 1 minute and 40 seconds. And Marty at 2 minutes and 45 seconds. For the helpers, we had Trisha at 1 minute and 10 seconds. We had Adrian at 1 minute and 13 seconds. And we had William at 30 seconds. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much. And I'm hoping that I don't get castigated tonight for my faux pas here as a Toastmaster. I am going to, if I'm not correct, did Aaron, were you the one who was receiving the votes? Is that what happened here? Okay. And can you go ahead and announce those then for us?
Okay, so first of all, I need to put a disclaimer that I didn't control the vote. So if you are not satisfied with the result, please do not kill me. The reason why is because later I will tell you the results. The results are as follows. The best speaker, drum rolls please. Drum rolls. Oh, I love that. Okay. Goes to Michelle Aussie, please. Give a round of applause. For the best table topics, drum rolls. Is to myself, so I will just get it. Yay! And then the best evaluator And it's also to myself. So I'm saying that I didn't really just control the rules. I mean, I would rather give to Marty. And Marty, I love his evaluation. Okay? So great job, everyone. And also a slight reminder to everyone for evaluators, please write the evaluation form and send it to the speaker at the first instant, but maybe hopefully by within the next 2 days, so that you still remember everything in your mind. That's a slight reminder. And back to you, Dawn.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone, for a great Toastmasters meeting. And we will, I'm not sure if, I think I saw our president in here. If he's in here, he can join us. But we're going to wrap it up and stay on so you can claim roles. What's that?
The roles for the next week.
Yep, roles taking for next week. So you can log in and you can register us if we want to take a role right now.
Yeah. So we can do that now. And the meeting, can we officially close the meeting then and then maybe go into that?
Sure. Where's the gavel?
My gavel?
Yes.
Knock, knock.
And then
My gavel.
we can stop the recording. Yay.
Stop the recording. So I have
go on.
Just one quick thing to add. I found last week somewhere I found a PDF of the Competent Leader Manual after I purchased a Competent Manual. So if you guys want the PDF of that, let me know, because we're all doing roles and we might as well evaluate each other. Trisha and I have been back and forth, so she's been helping me out. So if you want that, let me know and I'll send you that PDF. Just put your well, I'll say if you want it, I'll put my email in the chat and then you can send me an email and I'll just forward it to you. And for the roles for next week, Marty, do you want to do that since you're acting president?
Sure, I'll share the screen. Let's go ahead and do, let's see, desktop, your screen. Okay, so.
I'm pretty sure I'm signed up to do something, but I don't have it right here in front of me.
Okay, so competitive communicators, here we are, the page. And we go to the October 1st meeting.
Can't you have control of your own screen during that?
What's going on here? Oh. Let me try that
You just have to exit the full screen mode at the very top if you want to see your own screen while he's doing this.
Okay, let's see. Okay, well, there we go. What? Really? I thought it was 45. Wow, I got that right. Okay, what's going on?
You need to do it again or someone convinced.
Why it didn't like it, huh? Review humanity. It better be. What is going on?
I was having a hard time logging into it tonight too, earlier. Not sure.
I actually am logged in, but I can't get Marty's screen out of the way.
Oh,
wow. Well, maybe you just can't solve basic math problems. And maybe
Michelle, at the very top of your screen,
it's 410, really. Okay. Oh, that's weird.
View my options.
It's saying the username or password you have.
Okay, you know what? Heck with this. So let's do it this way.
I'm in here, Marty.
You are? Okay, I'll let you share your screen then. Hold on. Let me unshare. Okay. Go ahead, Michelle.
Okay.
This will be practice for Michelle.
Come on now.
Just click the large green button.
Okay, does everyone see that?
It's coming up. Here we go.
Yep.
I see it.
Now I'm signed in as myself, but I can do it, right?
You should be able to, I believe.
Well, if I hit the roll, then it only puts my name, doesn't it?
You have to go to the whatchamacallit page on the actual website. What do you call it?
Members?
Blanking on the page, what it's called. But if you go to the website itself, there's a way to do it.
Home? Help? Oh, do I have to log in? Maybe I have to log in. Oh, we'll see if I'm human.
Yes. You log in and then you get the.
They trust you. They don't ask
You
you to
can click remember me.
Go to the member dashboard. That's it. Go to the member dashboard.
Where's that? Members?
It's underneath your membership area on the right, underneath where all the meetings are listed.
Membership
there you go.
dashboard. Okay.
Yes.
Nothing like pressure.
And then you should be able to edit signups and stuff on this page.
Which tab is that?
That's a good question. I don't know, but I know that you can, I can edit stuff on this.
Oh no, it's right. You're right there.
What are you doing? That's my website.
Michelle, 3 lines down where it says Toastmasters meeting October 1st. Then to the right of it, it says sign up and then edit signups.
Okay, on your right. Yeah. Or maybe I can just
scroll.
Toastmaster. Okay. Can I edit signups?
Yes, right there.
There you go.
Very weird. Everybody directing me. Okay. Big Brother's watching.
We're all helping together.
Supporting.
Sergeant at Arms.
Aaron. Okay.
Inspirational. We haven't done that. Okay.
we
President.
leave it up for everyone though. So if there's anyone that's with inspiration quotes, we can go for it.
Yeah, Paul should be back next week, so put Paul.
Now you'll know I don't know my alphabet.
Okay, Paul.
You just scroll through Paul. It's up.
Up.
There you go.
It's alphabetical by first name, not by last name.
Okay. Toastmaster. He said I was going to do it.
What?
That's good. That's you. You saw that.
Okay. Odd counter, well, grammarian. Isn't odd counter and grammarian the same? Oh, I think my club does
No,
that.
two different things.
Okay.
If we have a lot of people, they can be 2 different things. But
Yep.
Should we make it Will? Is he on here? William, do you want to be grammarian and odd counter?
He seems to be away.
He said that's fine, I think. Or at least I'm going to say I think he said it. Body language. Don't everybody jump at one time. You're all going to jump. You're going to jump for the speeches.
Just scroll down and see if I'm GE. I can't remember what I signed up for next week. Is that
no speakers? Trisha, okay.
Yeah. I'll do a speech next week.
Was that Marty?
That was me, yeah.
Yeah, that's Marty.
Is this the first one here? Oh, Misako.
Misako is giving so speaker number 2.
He feels bad because she's been away.
Oh, Trisha had one prepared for tonight. So
you can put me as a backup.
No, you just speak next week.
No,
right?
go for it.
Which one is it? Which man is it, Marty?
I'm going to go for my
I
7.
don't know yet. I haven't decided yet. I just decided to become one. So.
So courageous. Okay, Trisha.
Put me for my 7 then, Michelle.
Oh, good girl.
Yeah, we'll try and make sure it's done by then.
Finish her manual.
It's not the one I was going to give tonight, so just FYI.
General. No, wait a minute. That's 2 big roles. General evaluator and speaker.
Well, I need the GE more than I need. Well, I need both, but.
Okay, 3 evaluators. Who has the baby?
that's Aaron.
Oh, I'll be disclosed.
He's got sound effects going on.
I have to give some atmosphere.
Neil said he'll evaluate Michelle.
Oh, did Neil really say that, or what?
Yeah, in the chat. Yes.
Oh, okay. I can't do 3 things at one time.
That's okay. That's why I'm helping.
Evaluator, another one?
I can be an evaluator.
Don't do that. That'll be my son. Do you want to evaluate, Joshua? Go ahead.
Sure.
I'll put my son. He has to work through both manuals.
Joshua, go for it.
I think didn't you just volunteer?
Yeah, I put myself in.
Oh, who's going to do it?
Adrian, I think.
I put myself in for number 2 for the 2nd spot.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so wait a minute.
Well, why are you reading my name?
So I'm putting Adrian.
Adrian is the 2nd.
Yes.
I already put it on the website. Maybe because you have it open.
Yeah.
We'll see. Okay, so that's it. Save changes.
Yep.
Stop share. The pressure is too great.
So who was that second evaluator? Can you see that? Or second speaker so I can know who I'm going to evaluate next week?
Who was the second?
I think that was me, I think.
Is that Martin?
Yeah,
Martin?
yeah, it's Martin. It's Martin.
Okay.
Third
Great.
speaker is Trisha Grow.
All right, I'm leaving. My little girl is having a hard time with her flashcards and her dad.
Oh.
She needs to go to bed.
Oh, go help her.
By the way, Michelle, I have to tell you that you are a great example. You and Josh are great testimonies to homeschooling. I have to.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm on my knees every day.
Yes. Okay, chill. All right, that being said, thank you for this meeting and goodbye.
Bye.
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 Bye.